Are you ready?
I was born ready, John.
Born ready. John Peckman Podcast, Born Ready. The Born Ready Podcast. John Peckman Podcast, Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Come over the bridge, go through one set of lights, look left, pull a U, park in front of the red neon light building. Listen, Dave will tell you how to have your very own podcast here in our beautiful studio. If you're listening on YouTube or watching, like and subscribe. And we are here today with Mr. Skip LeClair, guitar player.
Yeah.
Let me just say, could possibly be the first human I ever saw play guitar.
Probably.
Could be.
Yeah, I think I met you when you were 2.5 years old. I remember it.
Went to school with my sister.
Yeah, elementary school.
Right.
Yeah.
So when my parents would go out and she would babysit, all the hippies would come over.
We were always over
and
there.
you were one of, and you were the guy with the guitar.
And I swear, well, I remember when your parents came home with you one day. And this is hilarious because I can see it like it was yesterday. Your mom says, Jonathan, this is Skip, this is Jonathan.
Whoa.
And I said, hi, John. And you looked at me like you wanted to kill me. And you said exactly this. You said, my name is Jonathan. And I was like, whoa, aren't you a little boy?
Yeah, and your ass is grass. And you know what? Yeah, I bet. I lost that battle, actually, because, well, I was little and you were cool, and you were like, oh, okay.
Well, I was 12. I don't think I was cool yet.
Well, when I was in junior high and I said, my name is Jonathan, I immediately got a swirly and a fist in the face. So then I was like, oh, I guess my name's John now. And I actually got peer pressured into John. I was like, yep, my name's John. If they were like, listen, your name is Doucheneck, I'd be like, yep, that's my name.
I'm not going in the boys' room anymore.
So yeah.
But I do remember that like it was yesterday. I think it was like 1970, maybe 71.
Yeah, it would have been 3 or
3.
4.
I think you're about 3. Yeah.
A jerk. Yeah.
No, you know what? I know. I love
my name is
my name.
Jonathan.
And that was a look on your face. It was like you burned a hole through my head.
Oh.
But I love little kids, and I always have.
Yeah, me too.
And I've noticed that the cockier they are, and the more they talk, the brighter they seem to be.
Oh yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
So if you got a kid that just sits there and watches television and never speaks, he's probably an idiot.
Right. Yeah, no, I love kids too. I
do
work with them every day.
I'm a wicked softie for babies. Oh God.
Oh really? I don't care. I don't care about babies. I don't care about babies.
I do. I love
really.
Them. Oh yeah.
Yeah, kids like 6, 7, 8, 9 are hilarious.
Oh,
I
do absolutely. Funny. Especially the little girls because they never shut up. You know, and that's a sign that they're bright, you know.
Yeah. So I dig it. So I don't know how you, all right. So as of now, you're playing with Riders on the Storm. So,
correct.
So that would be where most people would see you at this time.
Right. And I didn't play for quite a while because I pretty much got sick and tired of playing in dumps.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we can't swear here, can we?
You can swear everything up to the F word, I think.
Oh, good, because we have a motto in Riders, which I love.
Sure.
No shitholes.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, no bars, no restaurants.
Yep.
And you know, I hate to talk about a band I was in a few years ago because I love these guys. It was Blues Alley.
Oh,
and
right.
They only played horrible gigs.
Yeah.
And I got just fed up with it. And so
Is that with Dave?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
I've seen him in forever. I wonder.
He's doing fine.
You think I can get him in this room?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'll bet you
he
could.
He just made the list.
I bet you could.
Just made the list.
He's got some great stories to tell.
I bet.
I remember Dave. I've known Dave longer than I've known you.
Really?
Dave grew up next door to my grandparents.
Wow.
So I've known Dave since I was basically old enough to see.
Whoa.
You know.
Wow, that's funny.
Since I was born.
So when you, all right, so you know what, we got to connect all the dots. So grew up in Wallingford, Wallingford homies.
Oh, yeah.
Wallingford, Connecticut.
Yeah, we grew up like a half a mile from each other.
Yeah.
And your house, where your house was, is the library now.
Yep, the library. Yep.
Yeah, the hidden house.
So that was like, the
hidden house.
So it was kind of the party spot.
It was cool. It was great. Nice and quiet back there.
Were you there at the time? I always heard this story. I don't know if I remember it, but I remember the telling of it, that my parents, they came home early.
Oh, and somebody was sitting on the fridge?
Someone
yes,
was sitting on the fridge.
I was there.
And my dad just came in and cleaned
He
house.
lost his mind. I remember the only time I ever saw your dad get pissed off.
Yeah.
Get the hell off my fridge.
Yeah,
what
there's
are you
someone
doing?
on the fridge. That's great.
I think it was Bobby Kelly.
Wow.
Or Billy Pesca.
When Linda listens, we'll figure it out. I remember when she told me.
Oh, that's so funny.
Somebody, or maybe it was you, or somebody, I'll never forget. They walked up the wall, like they leaned in the doorway and kind of shimmied up the wall. And that was the coolest thing I ever saw. I
think that was me.
This is great. Yeah. Anyway.
But you're right. When your parents went out, your place was the party zone. Oof. And we were like 7th grade, 8th grade. So we were stupid and just getting into all the bad stuff,
That's
you know.
So funny.
And we were petrified at
Janet
D'Onofrio's. We were petrified at Janet D'Onofrio's dad because he was a cop.
Oh, that's right.
And then I saw the movie. And the movie, you've seen Riding Cars with Boys.
Yeah.
And I had no clue. And I'm watching the movie going, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is about my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
All right, well, you know what? Let's set that record straight in case anyone they don't know. So Riding in Cars with Boys, which was a flick, I don't know when.
It's
90s or 2000s.
Early 2000s, very successful too.
Drew Barrymore, right?
You're right, Drew Barrymore played Bev. Yep.
So that movie was based on a book written by someone in your crew.
Janet's older sister
Janet's
Bev.
older sister
who
Bev.
Drew plays in the movie.
So
the movie's about writing the book. Trying to find the old boyfriend to get him to sign the papers use his name in the movie.
I only saw it once.
Oh, it was great.
So that movie is about Wallingford, Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Big time.
Bacchus Court.
And what's funny, I had no idea, and I'm watching the movie and the cop's name was John D'Onofrio, and it says Wallingford, Connecticut on the cop car, and it's from like 1968, and it's James Woods plays him. Oh. And that's when it all started coming together for me. I went, wait a minute.
This is Wallingford.
I remember her from 7th grade. This is like, wow. Yeah. That was really cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Probably the only cool thing ever happened to Wallingford.
Well, you.
Yeah, I mean, there's me, of course.
Yeah.
Mr. Humble Humility.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to tell us, just tell us about Riders a little bit, and then we'll go back.
Okay, here's the thing about Riders. It was, I think, last September, and out of the blue, I get a phone call. And it was Eamon from Riders. It was New York City number, so of course I answered it.
Yep.
And he said, Jeff Chitchell, he told me you're a ringer and you'd ace this gig. And
he didn't know you?
No, never met me.
Wow.
So I never auditioned. I never rehearsed. I showed up at the first gig, and that was the moment I met those guys.
Really?
Yeah, at Crystal Bees, and it was packed,
wow.
and they went crazy, and it was great.
That was your first gig, no rehearsal?
No rehearsal. Never even met him before.
You did learn the songs.
Yeah, I learned the songs.
Your set list and
but what happened was Eamon got sick right before we went on stage and had to go to the hospital. So this is great. Eric Smith, the promoter, love you, Eric. Crazy. You are the best. He comes up to me and he goes, "You're not canceling." And I went, he goes,
"Jim Morrison's not here."
Right. And he says, "Go up there and sing the songs. This is hilarious."
I did not know this.
No one did. Only the people who were there know this. So I go, all I kept thinking was Chris Farley on the Japanese TV show. Oh my God, yeah. I don't know the words. And Eric says to me, he goes, "Listen, here's a pitcher of beer and a pizza.
Yeah.
And just get up there and do it." And I went, "Come on, really?" He goes, "You can do it."
Doors songs?
Yes. I've never learned the words to a Doors song in my life.
Right.
And I learned the songs, and I have not rehearsed with these guys. I just met them 15 minutes ago.
Wow.
Luckily the warm-up band, Sal Icabucci. Thank you, Sal.
Oh yeah.
He went overtime. Steve Montana was the singer. Frank DiCiccio was the drummer.
Ooh.
Oh my God, I love Frank. Yeah. And the story.
They all just made the list.
The story
just as you went.
Absolutely. And it's really funny because when I showed up, I'm in the back and John Pell is loading his drums.
Yeah.
And the other drummer's loading his stuff, and he goes, "I know you."
Yeah.
And I went, "You do?" He goes, "I was in Oreo." And I went,
"Oh,
Frank?"
Yeah, there he is.
Last time I saw you, your hair was black. Now his hair's all gray. And, I haven't seen him in 40 years.
Sure.
And thank God those guys they went overtime for us. And
wow.
Really killed. And what's funny was I said to Steve right before we went on, I said, "Steve, do you know any Doors songs?" He goes, "Nope."
Oh.
So I get up there, and I do all the songs. I sing all the songs.
You did?
I did the whole gig.
The Doors stuff?
3-piece.
I did not know that. Eamon never did the gig?
Never did the gig. And he was in the hospital for like 2 days after that.
What happened?
He had an AFib, something like that.
Yikes.
And it was scary. And we're like, you can't sing.
Wow.
So he ended up going to the hospital. And
so your writer's debut is you're the singer and
white knuckle all the way. And Eric Smith, the promoter, sent me a video of it. And you can't tell it. I'm petrified.
Wow.
But my brother was there. I'm sorry, my sister was there. My son was there with his girlfriend. They said it was really, really good.
Well, I don't doubt that.
And I was like, I can't believe I pulled that off.
Well, I can.
But what I will say, the first gig I did play with the band, I was astonished at how they sound like the Doors.
I have never seen them in all of my years.
You must.
Yeah, I bet.
Even if you don't like the Doors.
I do like the Doors.
This is honestly pure theater.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even have to close your eyes.
Yeah,
It's when he called me and he wanted me to, do the gig, I was like, can I get back to you? He's like, of course. Yeah. So he sent me some videos. And
what happened to his guitar player? Who knows?
No, he went to Nashville to be a session guy.
Okay.
So I don't blame him. I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, right.
That's kind of a cool gig,
Yeah.
So he needed a guitar player, and he got me. And I saw the videos. I called him back within a minute and went, "Oh yes, I."
Oh, because you're like no shitholes. Perfect.
I couldn't believe how much he sounded like Jim Morrison. I mean, it's amazing to me. I mean, the hair on my arms was standing up.
Yeah, that's cool.
Wow.
And you're not a huge Doors fan.
No, I never was. You know what? I always thought Robbie Krieger was really good.
Sure.
And John Densmore.
I'll give you my
monster.
We'll get to that. I have a theory. I have theories about John Densmore.
I see. I never really understood because they tucked him so far deep in those records, you can barely hear him.
Sure.
They were made in 1967.
Sure.
Then I heard Absolutely Live and went, "This guy is nuts, man. He's
nuts.
great.
Yeah, he's great.
Super great. I mean, really, really good." And Ray Manzarek, when I listen to songs like Crystal Ship and stuff, I go, "Oh my God, what a genius he was!" You know? Doing bass with his left hand and keyboards with his right hand, and the guy we have, Rob Blaney, blow your mind.
Does that? He does that.
Does it? You can't even tell it's not the record. It's
crazy,
amazing. And of course, you got Pell playing drums, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And what's good about Pell is he says to me, "Don't worry. Every time we need to change, I'm going to go da 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 da," and he gives me these snare cues. That are You'd have to be deaf to miss them. You know what I mean? And at the end of the night, I gave him a hug. I said, "Thank you so much for that." Because I was going to ask you to do that. He goes, "No, I do that anyway."
Yeah, right.
But the gig last Friday night at the Wall Street Theater was off the chains.
That's what you keep. Yeah,
almost sold out.
Wow.
My son at the end of the show, well, the next day actually, because he was waiting for me to come out, and I pulled a runner. I didn't come and talk to anybody. He went, "Your fans are out of their minds."
Oh, really? So they're into
I
it.
could see the balcony and the people just going crazy.
Yeah.
But he said 90% of the people that left that place were in no condition to drive a car.
Oh, wow.
He said, "Yeah, they get that." I was
so
like, "Yes,
we're
back. I'm back."
Are you playing an SG?
Yes, I bought one just for the gig. I got one just for the gig.
Yeah, that's killer. That's funny.
And this is a really cool guy I work with came to me about a year ago and said, "You play guitar, right?" I love when they ask that.
Yeah, right.
I said, "Why? What do you have?" He goes, "My father-in-law in 1967 bought a Fender Deluxe reverb amp. It's been sitting in his house."
Wait, do you see what's in the basement here? We'll get to that.
Yeah, and he says, "My wife says it's worth $1,000," and I went, "I'll be right back." He brought it in. It's got the original tubes in it.
Ooh.
It doesn't have a fingerprint on it.
Ooh.
It never left the guy's house, and that's the rig I'm using.
Oh.
Because it's so authentic. It looks right. It sounds perfect.
Imagine that.
And it turns out it's like the most sought-after amp in the world now is the Deluxes.
Yeah, man. Perfect.
So
did he play that? Is that what Krieger played?
No, actually, every time I see those videos, he played acoustic amps.
Oh, wow.
And those, I had one when I was
Are those solid state?
Yeah, they were awful. They sound good when he plays them, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's all, it's all relevant. I mean, I could give you a $50 drum set. You'd tune it right, and it would sound great.
I guess, yeah.
It's true. It really is true, because I think growing up, I didn't have an amp. So I learned how to play and get all those sounds Like
Right.
I heard a flanger, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So I learned how to get it with my finger.
Yeah, right. Sure.
And,
Sure.
all the harmonics and squeal. I learned how to get all those with my fingers because I didn't have an amp.
Right.
Then when I finally got an amp.
You're like, this isn't even what it is.
When I finally got an amp, I bought the biggest, loudest Sun concert lead amp you could buy. You couldn't put it over.
Brought it over to Linda Peckman's house.
No, actually, this is funny because the one time my parents did go out, I think I was probably just barely out of high school. I cranked the crap out of this thing. And I didn't know there was a cop at my bedroom window. And he'd been knocking on the window for like 15, 20 minutes.
And you didn't even turn it up yet.
It was on like 2. Yeah. So anyway, I stopped playing and I hear, I look and there's a cop looking in my window and I go, oh, shit. Yeah. So, but he says, hey, I opened the window. I'll never forget this, Wallingford cop. He says, I've been knocking on the window for like 20 minutes, man.
Yeah.
Your neighbors called the police. You got to turn it down. I was like, I'll turn it off, man. It's okay.
And you're like, yes, sir, Mr. D'Onofrio, sir.
Exactly. This is another one of my fond memories. The cop knocking on my window because I was playing so loud in my basement where my bedroom was that the neighbors complained. I must have been shaking the ground.
That's cool.
You had to buy big, loud stuff back then. Everything had to be big and loud.
Why not? Why not? I'll tell you real quick my John Densmore theory. Okay, so first of all, Linda had a Doors. She had Weird Scenes Inside the Gold Mine, which is a good. It's kind of semi-deep cuts. It's not. It's a great. It's a great hit, but it's actually some good ones. And like so learning to play drums to those records, you get to play a waltz, you get to play with brushes, you get to play a bossa nova, you get to. There's a lot of things that I wouldn't have.
That's the thing about the Doors that's blowing my mind.
Right.
Is
you're like,
I missed it when I was 12.
Right.
But they didn't rip anybody off at all. They didn't even borrow from anybody.
Yeah, they just did their own thing.
They were like Queen before there was a Queen.
So here's my theory about John Densmore. I think, unless I'm wrong, but imagine this. So Light My Fire, whatever, 8 minutes long in the studio with solos in the middle. Yeah. And then they decide somehow they're going to make this the single. And they cut out the solos.
Goes right to the last note of the solo.
And it doesn't speed up from the beginning of the song to the end of the song. You remove 4 minutes from it, join it, and it's perfect with no click. And
his meter was perfect.
And he's a kid, and it's his first time in the studio, and he's stoned, no doubt. So if they couldn't cut that out and make a single of that,
we would probably never heard of
the Doors would have been like Love. They would have made 1 or 2 records.
Right.
And they were, but they became a pop band because of him. That's my
and only a drummer would notice that.
You couldn't take anything I played on.
Me either.
It's
like,
like,
I'm all
like
the road.
How did he? Unless I don't know. I'll have to delve into it. Maybe they made a single version.
Although,
but,
this is the one thing I did notice about that song. Of all the other songs I had to learn, it's a half step lower than all the other songs. They either slowed the tape down, or they tuned differently. And I don't think they tuned differently because they had a piano player, a keyboard player. You couldn't tune those things.
Yeah.
But when I went to learn it, I had to take another guitar and tune it to a half step low.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know, did they play with the tape to keep the time? Were the producers that good in those days? You know what I mean?
Well,
were they thinking about that kind of stuff?
You know what? To be continued. I'm going to do research. But that's as I got older, I just thought, that's the guy. I'm like, so the fact that you're able to remove the middle of the tune and have the front and the ass end of the tune.
You don't even notice. Right.
And that's what Ringo did too when they figured out, we can cut between takes because when this dude
guy's clock is perfect,
Yeah, it's however many takes.
He's another one of my favorites.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my God, Ringo and Buddy Carlos.
Yep. And then for me, those are my 2, and my third is Tom Artolino.
I was just going to say Tommy from NRBQ.
Yeah, those are my 3.
You remind me a lot of him because you have that sloshy hi-hat.
That's no accident. I grew up. I got lucky, as usual, again. My sister, so Linda, my big sister, she was the source of a lot of things. What my parents didn't have, she had. She was the Elton John, Billy Joel,
I remember
Doors.
Goodbye Yellow Brick Road she had. I remember that. We were kids.
One of my favorite drum records, too. So I got into her records. And she was into NRBQ, and I didn't know the difference between them and Elton John I didn't know they were kind of a regional act.
Right, they were kind of local guys. Right.
So anything that I got, I just chewed up, and then I realized, oh, dude, and I got older, and I'm like, you learned from that guy when you were 12 years old, rather than Neil Peart. Nothing against, but that would have been a whole other.
He's not one of my favorite drummers.
No, me neither. But that would have put me down a whole other. But I just took it like, oh, this is what you have to do, and it's just like now I'm like, yeah. So I do sound like him.
You have that what he has is that, and a lot of people don't understand this about music in general, is there's basically 3 drummers.
Yep.
The guy who plays way behind the beat,
yep.
like Ringo in front of you
yep.
and Tommy,
yep.
and the guy who plays on the beat,
yep.
like most pop guys.
Sure.
And then there's a guy who joined the best named band he ever joined,
yep.
Rush.
Right.
Who he always sounds like he's rushing.
Yeah.
You're always trying to catch up to him.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad I wasn't a guitar player in that band, to be honest with you. And not to take anything away from the guy, because he's a magician.
Sure.
On the drums.
No doubt.
You know, just incredible. The first time I heard him, I was blown away.
Oh, yeah. It helped me to figure out that I wanted to take a different path. That's what it helped.
My favorite Rush album is the first one.
Yeah, right.
With John Rutsey on it. Because it's just, straightfortright rock,
Yeah.
But yeah, Neil Peart was amazing.
Sure.
Yeah, but like I said, he joined the band had a perfect name.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if I'm the only one that ever thought that.
Wow.
But, Rush.
Could be.
Don't rush.
So how did you get started in music?
When I was 4 years old, my 4th birthday, my dad got me a Roy Rogers guitar.
Hey.
And I never put it down.
Wow. And did you have any interest even before then in guitar? Did you even know what it was?
Yeah, I knew what it was because I used to listen to my dad's records. He had my dad was into like Roger Miller.
Okay.
And thinking back, what great music.
Yeah, right.
And he really liked a lot of the black doo-wop bands. He liked the Ink Spots and that kind of stuff. So we had all those records, which I destroyed on him.
Yeah.
By walking on them.
And
long story. They're not a great story. But music for me was always zen. That was my zen. That was it. That's all I wanted to do was listen to music and play music. I didn't want to do schoolwork.
Yep.
I liked riding my bicycle and playing and doing all that stuff, but it was always music for me. That was always my sanctuary.
Yeah. Yeah.
And going back 4 years old, that's when I remember getting my first guitar. And I remember I held it like a gun. My dad didn't. No, you put it in front of you. And I was holding it like this. He goes, no, you got to put it in front of you like this.
Sure.
So I thank my dad. Actually, I blame him. But by the time I was 16, he was kind of sorry he ever gave me a guitar. But
right. Because then, school is a mess.
Oh, I was a wreck. I remember I had to lie to my brother because we were going to see Mott the Hoople with Queen as the opening band.
Whoa!
And
where?
Palace Theater in Waterbury.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
It
was a dump back then, but it was so great.
I never was there, but
You never went there?
No.
Have you been there lately?
No.
Oh.
I didn't even know it existed.
It's breathtaking. It's the most beautiful theater I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, really?
In my life.
Oh, wow.
They put $50 million into it.
Oh, wow.
In like 99, around there, 97.
Wow. Okay.
But anyway,
But not the case back then.
I was no, it was all smoke. It was cigarette burns in all the seats, Yeah. But now they've restored it to the original 1919.
Wow.
With all the artwork.
Yeah.
And there's a dome.
Hey, that's cool.
It's beyond cool.
Yeah.
But I was forbidden to go to that concert because my grades are so bad.
Oh,
and I had to get my transcripts when I was going to go back to school, and I saw my grades.
And you were like, I'll never. Mott the Hoople is a fantasy.
No wonder my dad hated me. Well, anyway, I ended up going because I wasn't a genius, but I was bright.
Yeah.
I looked at the calendar and I realized the concert isn't for like 3 or 4 months, and it's a Saturday night, so I'm not going to mention it again. So that night, I said, I'm going to stay over at my buddy Dave's house, and they were like, "That's cool, that's fine."
Yeah.
And he had a car. And he also had tickets for the concert.
So you didn't remind your dad?
No, I didn't remind him at all. So I went to the concert, and I came back, and we were home by 11:30 at night, and I was home the next morning, and it was just a sleepover. And then my brother said, "Did you go?" And I was like, "No." And I was like, I told him like a year ago, dude. That's all right. I lied to you, man. I went, but I was very poor student in school. I just hated school so much.
Yeah. Lyman Hall.
No, my dad made me go to Wilcox, and thank God he did.
Oh, hey, that's cool.
Well, he knew if I went to Lyman Hall, I would end up in one of 2 places.
Yeah.
The graveyard or the penitentiary.
Yeah, right.
Because my friends were all idiots.
Yeah.
So thank God, because now I work as a toolmaker, and it pays really well, and I have a great job.
Hey.
And I learned it in Wilcox.
Hey, So it worked.
Well, my dad was smart. He was
Yeah.
very wise person.
That old something to fall back on.
Yes, and boy, did I fall back on it.
Yeah.
I fell right on it.
Well,
But
that's all right.
no, it's totally cool. Yeah, because I really don't want to make a living playing music anymore.
Yeah.
It's
hard.
It's not. It is hard. At a certain level, it's less hard.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just you're never home.
Right.
I
know.
And when my son was born, my first son was born, I was like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that dad that isn't
Yeah.
there on Christmas, isn't there for
Yeah.
school concerts, isn't there for
Yep.
baseball games or whatever. I'm not going to be that guy.
Sure.
So
Well, that's good. though.
I made that decision.
And
right?
I'm sure your kids appreciate
Oh, they
that.
came out incredible, man. My oldest son is a licensed social worker,
Yeah.
and my youngest son, Desi, lives in Birmingham, England.
Wow.
Just got married, yeah,
Wow.
and he's an artist. And
Hey, that's
he's a
cool.
Brilliant artist.
What was the one? So one of them used to come to one of my karaoke gigs.
That's Evan. That's my
Okay,
oldest
yeah,
son.
yeah.
I
He's
saw him.
funny.
I saw him yesterday. Oh, he's hilarious. Brilliant kid.
Yeah.
But I told him I was going to be on your podcast, and he goes, "Did he do karaoke?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah."
Yeah, briefly.
Yeah. She said, "Yeah." At Jake's or somewhere down there. Was it?
Yeah.
Grand
Yeah, it
Central,
was,
Grand
yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah.
He remembered you from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a
So funny.
great kids. I'm
Cool.
so lucky as a
Hey.
dad. So lucky.
That's great.
Their mom had a lot to do with it too. I mean, she was home all the time while I
Yep.
was working, had the
Yep.
shop, and
Yep.
so there's a lot to be said for a parent being home all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you didn't go to daycare, right?
No.
I didn't go to daycare.
No.
The only time Evan ever went to daycare was, guess who his teacher was?
What?
Your sister.
Oh.
He went to Mary Moffitt's.
Oh, of course.
When he
yeah.
was 4.
Oh, that's.
We
so
wanted to get him
funny.
socializing with other kids
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miss Linda.
Yeah. My mom might have still been working.
Oh, she was.
Yeah,
As a matter of
yeah,
fact, she was. When I found out, I was over the moon. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
I
you're
can't
right.
believe
That'd
it's
be fun.
Sandy and Linda.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Mary Moffitt's.
Yeah, Linda's a teacher.
Yeah, she's been
Third
a teacher
grade.
for a long time.
Yeah, a long time. Yep. That's cool. When did you start playing? Like, when was playing a gig a thing? Or a band? Like, what was the first band?
The first band I was in was with some good buddies of mine who, believe it or not, lived right next door to Gary Burr, of all people.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right next door to him.
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
knew Gary from when I was 15.
Yeah, that's cool.
And my first gig was the basement of the Wallingford train station.
Oh, wow.
The band was called Eastfield Tower. We did all Deep Purple, Alice Cooper. I was the baby. They were all like 17.
sure.
I was 14.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
and then we played all the youth centers and
Yeah.
dances like every weekend.
Yeah.
I wasn't even old enough to go to work at McDonald's, and I
Sure,
was making money.
Hey.
This is cool. Yeah. Then after that, it was weekend stuff with all my buddies. Then
Sure.
then I joined Canyon, and it was 6 nights.
Yeah,
six nights a week.
So that was that was like that was the big move.
Well, that's when you realize that. Wow, I got so much better in the past year because
You get your hours in,
you
right?
get your hours in, and
Yeah,
you have a crew, so you're not
Yeah.
moving gear, you're
Yep.
not doing anything. You're
Yep.
showing up 10 minutes before a gig,
Yep.
leaving 5 minutes after.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
That was 8 to the bar. That was my
Right.
wedge. It was that thing of like, I can quit my job and actually do that.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That's what I did. I was working at Pratt and Whitney. I remember
yeah.
coming home, and that place was a toxic wasteland.
Yeah.
Holy cow! And I came home and I said, "Dad, I'm quitting. I'm going on the road." That wasn't with Canyon though. That was another band called One Step Higher. It was we did the hotel circuit,
Okay.
but all over the East Coast.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Syracuse,
Yeah,
Albany,
yeah.
Buffalo,
Wow.
New Hampshire.
Yeah.
The first day we get to New Hampshire, Rockingham Racetrack burns to the ground.
Ooh.
And so all the people that were there were in the hotel that we were playing.
Hey.
So it was like jockeys.
Party
Let me tell you, jockeys can party. Oh
Yeah,
my
right.
God, those people are
And
crazy.
you can fit a lot of them in a small
Yeah, you
space.
can fit a lot of them in a lounge, right?
Awful.
But that was fun. That was 6 nights a week too.
Wow.
But I got fired from that gig because I was a little too rock and roll for it. They said.
Oh, really?
Well, I had a Strat and a Marshall and long hair, and they were wearing white jumpsuits with matching shirts.
Right.
And I kind of refused to do that. I was like,
Sure.
I did it anyway.
Yeah.
But it was like, I
But
felt
then,
like an idiot.
but then Canyon, you were like, okay, now
Oh,
this
that was
is,
so fun.
Yeah, this is the real thing.
Yeah, I was 20.
Who all was in that? Do I know those people?
Gary Fulton
Okay.
was the drummer.
Yep.
It's actually his band. He'd been in the band since he was 15 years old.
Wow.
Mark Franco was bass player.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was in Joint Forces with Jimmy Bell.
Oh, okay. All right. It was a little before my time. But.
What's really funny was when I was 12, my next door neighbor was the bass player in Canyon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Wayne Drescher. And he joined Surprise, which was Connecticut's the best band this state ever saw.
Oh, really?
Oh, they
Okay,
were
cool.
phenomenal. They got signed to Columbia, I think. Columbia Records.
Yeah.
Like 72.
Okay.
So my neighbor was a rock star.
Yeah, right.
And
so you saw the path. You
right.
were like, this
but
is
I used to watch
doable.
Canyon rehearse in his basement when I was like 13 years old, never dreaming I'd ever be in his band.
Yeah.
And then another band, I went down. They called me up and said, come down and try out. And I tried out, and they gave me a T-shirt.
Hey.
You're in the band, man.
Yeah, we'll pick you up tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. It was fun because 6 nights a week, after being a Wallingford, wallflower my whole life.
So you got around.
Big time. Seen things you can't believe you saw. You know?
I bet.
Well, back in 1980, the club scene was insane.
Yeah, that's what they say.
I
wasn't on it. Yeah.
They were huge. All the clubs held, 700 to 1,500 people.
Wow.
And they were packed 7 nights a week.
Yeah.
And
no one had anything else to do.
beers were $1.
Yeah.
I remember they used to have nickel night. This is hilarious.
Imagine that.
At the Arcadia Ballroom in New
So
Haven.
for $1, you could get dead, almost. Like
The
if
funny
you had
thing,
$5
on ladies' night, they gave the ladies $1 when they came in the door. So they 20 drinks right there. 20 drinks for the girls. You think about it, it's so illegal now.
That's crazy.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
And David's of Manchester had the 3.5-gallon Long Island iced tea.
Ooh.
Jimmy Bell bought me one on my 24th birthday because my birthday was there. And he came walking up the stage with a 3.5-gallon Long Island iced tea.
That's crazy.
And I'm going, I can't drink
I
this.
can't drink that.
So it came with a big, long plastic tube. So I was drinking it as much as I could. Of course, I'm an idiot. And I had to sing, so I spit the tube out, and I didn't realize I siphoned the entire thing onto the dance floor.
Oh, nice.
It's pure alcohol.
Oh.
I mean, this drink was like 4 feet tall. They used to bring it to your table. They'd cover it with grain alcohol and light it on fire. Oh. So they brought this flaming parfait glass.
Back when like alcohol was free. They could just literally burn it. Like
3.5 gallons. Long Island iced tea is pure liquor.
That's nuts.
There's nothing in it but liquor.
So you would be dead if you drank that.
Yeah, it was for a table.
Yeah,
and
right.
And if your table finished it, you got to keep the glass.
Oh, whoop-de-doo.
You know
you can bring it to your liver transplant
Do you know
party.
how many of those glasses were broken in the parking lot after the gig?
Wow.
Every night you went out there. David's was a great club. Dave Woodbury treated you like God.
Wow.
Yeah, he treated you like a rock star, man.
Wow.
So did Gatsby's, so
This
did
is
Toads.
all before my time.
Well, it all changed when the drinking age changed.
Yeah.
When the Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and God bless them because they were totally correct.
Sure.
I knew so many kids that died when they were 20.
Yeah, right.
Coming back from bars drunk.
Yeah.
So they started raising the drinking age.
Yep.
And what happened was all these bars were near colleges.
Mm-hmm.
So what do college kids do?
Yeah.
Oh, they study. No, they don't. They party. But like Wizards was right down the street from UConn.
Yeah.
And Gatsby's was right down the street from Wesleyan.
Okay.
Here. And Keg House and Toads were right down the street from Southern.
Yep.
So they were mobbed.
So there's just places to go.
7 nights a week. Mm. Yeah. And admission was $2.
Yeah.
Beer was $1.
Yeah.
But we
cool.
We polluted a lot of young kids in the 80s.
Hey, man.
Yeah. But bands got to work a lot.
Yeah. And then when they raised the drinking age, it just ended just like that.
Yeah, well, they went from 18 to 19. And you saw like a good portion of the crowd dwindle away.
Yeah.
And then they went from 19 to 21.
Yeah.
And overnight,
the
clubs you were putting 800 people in, there was like 100 people in them.
Yeah.
So they all started going out of business.
Yeah.
So then I started going, well, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
We're going to go out of business too, man.
What year was that?
That happened around 83, 84.
Right when I got on the scene.
Yeah.
Like right when I got there.
John Pell said the same thing. He said, I missed your scene by 5-6 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't start playing gigs till 84. So I just missed it.
And you know who calls me late at night all the time? Doug LaChapelle.
No, yeah. Me too.
He likes to talk late at night.
Yeah.
And we just bullshit about the good old days because we're the same exact age.
Oh, okay.
And we got in the scene. We got in the scene at the same exact time.
Yeah.
And everybody back then were friends. All the bands knew each other.
Yeah.
And everybody got along.
Sure.
Everybody got along great. You had Eyes, Crier was great.
Yeah. I used to hear about all that.
Hothead Slater. Oh, geez, there was a million of us.
When I was, who was it? Around. It might have been later, but Zoid. That was the band.
So
you remember
Richie,
Zoid?
Yeah, Richie Moore.
Okay,
Richie and Chucky Moore.
Yeah, they used to. I remember they played a keg party in my neighborhood, and I was behind the fence watching Zoid. I couldn't believe it.
Kevin Weisner on guitar. I knew those guys.
They had microphones on the drums. I was like, whoa, I never saw anything like that before. Yeah. So cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. It was Tommy. Tommy Dow was the drummer.
I don't. They were all.
They were much younger than us.
Okay.
Much younger than me.
But they were older than me, so it was.
They were like in between you and I.
Yeah.
You're probably like 10 years younger than me.
9.
What year were you born?
67. So.
Yeah, I was born 58.
Right. Yeah, my sister's 9 years older than me. So.
Yeah, right. And Linda and I are the same exact age.
Yep. That's so funny.
That brings back memories. Richie had to explain to me what a Zoid is.
I don't know what that is.
Can
we say it?
I can't remember. It's some kind of microscopic organism.
Oh.
That's what a Zoid is. Okay. Because Richie is one of the sweetest kids I've ever known.
I never.
He was the guitar player.
Yeah.
Him and his brother was the bass player.
Okay. Wow, that's so funny.
Zoid. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they became Bad Attitude.
I don't know.
Yeah, later, they became Bad Attitude.
Crazy. So, Canyon, you stuck with it until the downsize or whatever.
Well, then they fired me.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I was, my nickname
because you started wearing nice. Well, imagine if you flipped it, you show up at the gig, not rock and roll.
I'll say this about myself, and
you don't have to say it.
I'm kind of ashamed. But back then, after a year or two of nobody telling you no, everybody telling you how great you are all the time, all your friends calling you up, hey, can you get me into the show? Get me in the show. I was like, what, didn't you punch me in the face in high school, man?
Right.
It's like, now you're my friend. But I got to the point where, I thought I actually deserved this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, here I am. If everybody's telling you you're the shit,
sure.
Eventually you're going to believe it.
Well.
So I got to the point where I was very difficult, and they started playing music that I hated.
Oh.
Adamant.
Yeah, sure. And you're just like,
we were just playing Pat Travers last week. I'm a guitar player.
Yeah, right.
And now we're playing Can't Smoke, Can't Drink, What Do You Do, whatever.
Yeah.
And they started doing that because the club owners were starting to fail.
Oh,
and they're going, we want you to do dance music.
MTV time.
Exactly, it's MTV time. And to me, MTV was awesome the first 3 years.
Sure.
Became an appalling abomination after that.
Yeah, sure.
Once you saw a Coca-Cola commercial on it, you knew it was over.
Yeah. No. I know. I agree. I mean, I remember.
And then came my favorite, Madonna.
Oh boy.
Don't get me started.
No, I could care
My first gig was the basement of the train station.
Yep.
Her first gig was Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, it's not fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you see her on the Grammys?
I did. It's kind of bizarre.
Oh, it was like, I actually felt bad for her.
I kind of did.
I was like, wow. She was, I never thought she was gross. I thought she was kind of cute.
Yeah. But I was like, yo.
What did they shoot into your face?
Yeah, yo.
Like football stuffing or something?
I mean, God bless her. Sometimes you think you're like, you haven't been around anyone that tells it like it is.
Well, that's the thing. Nobody tells you no. You don't know who your friends are. Everybody says, oh, you look great. No, you don't. You look like a freak.
So what you're saying is the end of Canyon was your Madonna swollen face period where no one's telling you until someone just goes, yo.
Guess what? Yeah, we got somebody who looks just like you, and you're gone. God. And they did. They got somebody who looked just like me. But
he
didn't play like
can't smoke, don't drink, what do you do, or whatever. Yeah.
I mean, the highlight of the night was playing Beat It.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, hey, that's kind of cool.
It was cool. At least it was a groove thing. You know what I mean? But I was like, why don't we do what we've been doing?
Yeah.
Because everybody loved it.
Yeah.
Now everybody hates us. I mean, I was watching people.
So it didn't work?
Not at all.
Oh wow!
Not for me.
They went the wrong. They went the wrong.
Yeah. Well,
way.
they were trying to stay alive. You know what I mean? And
did they?
Yeah, till like '88, somewhere around there. Yeah. And and I was always like, well, we make all this money. How come I'm not getting all this money? Well, we got agent fees, we got a crew, we got lights, we got trucks, we got rooms. And I was such a little brat. I was like, well, what's that got to do with me?
Yeah.
Skip LeClair.
Yeah.
Looking back, I realized, I definitely needed a slap.
Well,
I got one.
Don't we all? Yeah. Yeah.
I was young, man.
But then, and then from then is what? Then you just kind of whatever.
That's when
I kind of met you.
Right. Well, that's when Howard called me.
Right.
The day after I was fired from that band, my phone rang off the hook.
Oh, right.
And it was all people that had been in the band.
Yep.
come work with me.
Yep.
Do this.
Yep.
Howard called me, wanted me to play with the crayons for a while.
Right. Because when I met
Jimmy
you,
Carter.
Yep.
All them.
Yep.
And I was like, maybe I am okay.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was starting to think, maybe do I suck, man? Was I that bad? You know? And then I realized it wasn't me. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, when I met you, you were living at Howard's.
Oh,
Like remet.
remet.
Like,
Right?
oh,
You hadn't
yeah,
seen me
you're
in
the
years,
dude.
right?
Yeah.
I lived there for a couple of years.
Yeah. The upstairs at Howard's guy.
Yeah. The little bedroom with a broken window.
Yeah.
No, they were great to me.
Oh, yeah.
Those Howard and Lori and
Yeah.
Sarah was like 8
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
What a beautiful person, man.
Yeah, those are fun times. Yeah.
That was my lost years, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd been in a relationship for a long time with this gorgeous, beautiful girl I was crazy in love with. We split up, and I was just
Yeah, right.
forget it.
Adrift.
I'm just gonna rip the world apart. I don't care. I'm gonna build my motorcycle and just ride it all over the place.
Well, that's okay.
Nah, gotta survive, you know.
I guess. Yeah.
86, 87.
Yeah. That would have been.
So I started working for Harvey at the music shop down
Right.
in Madison, and I got Howard in there too. So me and Howard were running the place.
Right. Yeah.
I could tell you some stories off the record about that place that would
Really?
melt your
What,
brain.
out in Brantford?
Madison.
Oh, right.
Harvey.
Right. Yeah, I guess. Right.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Vic.
Yeah.
I love Vic.
Oh, yeah.
Vic is the most sarcastic human being I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
But he and Harvey had a band at the time,
I know.
and they were doing like the cruise, not the cruise, the Connecticut River.
Liberty Bell. Or
Yes,
yeah.
I did that one.
Yeah,
That was weird.
sure.
But they did like the Yankee Clipper.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
the Rob Jocko gigs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And with Mike Calzone, Mike Cotella.
Right.
Yeah. I used to
The first, like one of the first gigs I ever did, Vic, it was, I forget what they were called, but it was Harvey. I can't even remember who else was in the band.
probably Joe.
No.
Wasn't Joe
because
Macaluso?
not when I played the couple of gigs with him, so it might have, I can't remember. But yeah, Vic was like, you're going to play this oldies gig with these guys.
Yeah, it was oldie. It was like 60s.
Yeah.
The Kinks, Kinks and
not
that kind of
doo-wop,
stuff.
but
No,
like,
right.
But it was cool,
Yeah.
jangly pop.
Because Harvey was a great guitar player. He really was.
Yeah. But those are some of my first gigs ever with Harvey, ever.
No kidding.
Yeah. Vic was like, just do what he tells, just do what they tell you, pay attention. Okay.
He was your teacher, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I remember seeing you. I keep slapping the table and it makes.
It's all right. Yeah.
I remember I was at Music Inc. one day.
Yeah.
And you came in with your dad.
Yeah.
And you were taking lessons from Vic.
Yes, I was.
And that was the next time I saw you after you were like 5 years old. And you were probably 10, maybe around there.
It would have
Around
been.
that age,
Yeah, it would have been.
You came in with your drumsticks in your hand, your dad. I recognized your dad.
Oh, okay. From throwing that kid off the refrigerator.
Trust me, you had the coolest parents, man. Of all of my friends,
I know.
You definitely had the coolest parents.
I know.
Because your mom, you know what it was? They didn't grow up in Wallingford.
Right.
That's
Right.
probably what had a lot to do with it, you know?
Yeah, so they were kind of outsiders growing up and being from Pittsburgh, so they didn't care what the neighbors thought, I think.
See, my parents my parents never came to terms until they saw me play, like in Canyon, like at Gatsby's, and with 700-800 people going nuts.
And you're sucking down the 3-gallon
it's 12
thing while
12
you're
gallon
soloing,
liquor
you're playing a guitar solo,
behind my head.
watching the level of the thing go down.
But it wasn't until they saw that they got it.
Yeah.
Because they were like, how could he be good? He's our kid.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
we can't know somebody that plays guitar good. That's impossible.
No, it's not.
You know, it's like it's like my sister. who's
Everyone
a
comes from
PhD.
somewhere.
How could she be smart? She's our kid. You know?
Yeah.
It's like you think more of yourself, mom and dad.
Right, that's what I was going to say. I'm
yeah.
like, yo, your gene pool's pretty good.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. And it's lived on because my kids are awesome. My brother's kids.
There you go.
Kids are awesome. I mean, awesome people.
That's great.
Not one disappointment in 35 years.
Hey,
That's hard to say.
Who can ask for? Right. Yeah.
I was nothing but disappointments to my parents till I was about 20. You know.
Well, oh well.
Yeah. Well.
You were always the tech guy too. The guitar, like you had your own shop. You're the guy that. So how did that?
That came actually from Jim McCann.
Okay.
Who was he had Custom Guitar Workshop.
Okay.
And he's the guy that kind of launched me into the big club scene. He was the guy who told Canyon about me.
Okay.
And then I was down there one day, and Gary was in there, And he said, oh, you're the guy Jimmy's been talking about. We don't like our guitar player. Why don't you come down? So anyway, Jim McCann was a genius at guitar wiring, fretting, finishing.
Okay.
He just could build guitars with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
And I hung out there every day because you know where my shop was in Wallingford?
Yep.
That was his shop.
And it became Joe's.
And became Joe's. He sold it to Joe, right? And then Joe moved out and the place fell apart and they fixed it up and I went back in there.
Right.
But Jim taught me so much about fixing guitars.
Yeah,
and then I kind of ran with it from there.
And you were like, okay, I'm going to be the guy.
Every guitar I own, except for my Eddie Van Halen Wolfgang, I have completely changed everything out.
Yeah, right.
That's the only guitar I haven't touched.
Yeah, yeah.
So
once you got into it, you were like, I could figure it out.
And that's what I did at Harvey's. I was the guitar repair guy. I was the guy who installed all the pickups.
Gotcha.
I'm not as good as Mike Mascagna is.
Oh.
Mike is...
Is he really? I'm not a guitar player, but
greatest.
he's the king?
The king.
Okay.
There's nobody better on the planet than Mike.
Hey, that's cool.
And he's a funny guy.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
I love him, man.
I remember that, yeah.
But yeah, if I wanted to refret a guitar, I wouldn't do it myself. I'd have him do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's amazing at it.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, he refinished Howard's 59 Strat.
Ooh.
And he's so good that Fender actually gave him a 59 decal to put on the guitar, and that's like illegal.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Sure.
because
they're just like, this is good.
Yeah, right. So he's authorized by those guys to be that good.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and now he makes his own pickups.
Oh, really?
And they're outstanding, of course.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Local guy too.
Do you still do anything like that or no?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I do guitar repairs. Yeah,
soup up stuff.
Yep, absolutely. Everybody I work with plays guitar, so I'm constantly doing stuff for
them.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool.
It is. It's fun.
So it all stupid question, but did that help?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So
sure.
it all worked out. None of it was a waste of time.
The thing that was great about Wilcox is it taught a kid that was basically mechanically. Can you say the word retarded?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna find out.
We'll find out.
Right.
They kick us off of YouTube. Yeah. But and it taught me that you don't have to be a genius to do this stuff. You just have to know how to do it.
Sure.
It's all theory.
I got you.
And all the tools are designed to do it.
Yep.
You just got to know how to use them.
Yeah.
And if you have a good enough teacher, which I was lucky I did.
Oh yeah.
My teacher was an old retired toolmaker.
So in case anybody doesn't know, just in case, Wilcox is like the trade school, the high school, the technical high school.
Regional Vocational Technical School.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Where you go learn how to actually do stuff.
Yeah, and I recommend kids do that now because I got to tell you, I know kids that have 6 years of college that can't make more than $20 an hour.
Right.
I make way more than that.
Yeah, because
and
who knew?
With a high school education, the trades got lost in this country because everybody wanted to sit behind a desk and do this.
Yeah.
But when you flood the market like that, like right now, the average age of a toolmaker is, you ready?
Yep.
65.
Ooh, what's going to happen?
It's going to go away.
Yeah.
We can't get anybody. 7 years we've tried to get somebody, and every person that comes in says, yeah, I can do that. Boom, we kick them out in 2 weeks.
Really?
They can't do it. It's really weird work.
Wow.
It's the kind of work where, I'll quote you. When I get home, I flush my head down the toilet.
Yeah, right.
That's how my brain, when I get home, my brain is fried.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Huh. I got to chill for at least an hour, play my guitar or.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
wow.
You work to like sometimes 50 millionths of an inch.
Wow.
Over something the size of this table.
Wow.
It's got 700 things in it. And
what are you making for what industry?
Aerospace.
Wow.
Yeah, aerospace stuff like fighter jets and F-135 engines, and it's crazy stuff, man.
So the fewer there are of you that can do that, you can make more money, is what you're saying.
You can basically
Go
ahead, fire me.
Well, that's kind of like Doug LaChapelle's the same way. He has some painting thing that nobody does.
Nobody else does. Yeah, we talk about that all the time. Yeah. And I'm lucky.
And he said his dad was the same way. It was like learn a trade.
Yep. Doug and I come from the same.
Right.
We became instant friends the moment we met. You know, and still friends to this day. 45 years.
Doug he's hilarious.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, another one of the most sarcastic people I ever met.
He's funny.
He has no filter.
Oh my god.
I love you, Doug. You know.
Yeah. Now we'll get him in here.
But I work for the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah, my boss is like the coolest guy ever.
What more can you ask for?
You can't. And this is the best part. I work a half a mile from my house. I used to work over here.
Oh, where?
Standard Nap.
Oh, okay.
Right,
yeah,
around the bridge. There's a little factory down there. They make packing machines.
Okay.
I worked there for like 6 years until I left to go here.
Wow.
So I used to drive here every single day.
Oh, that's how you knew where it was.
That's how I knew exactly where it was. Cool. Yeah. I used to go to Rite Aid across the street and look at this shop.
Far out. Yeah.
It's a nice little shop too here.
Dave does a great job.
Very quaint, but nice.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, he's a lifer. Dave's.
I could tell.
He's a musician.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah. I don't want to run out of time.
Oh.
I want to make sure that I get what I want to get.
See, we didn't talk about you enough.
I don't. Nobody cares. I was my own guest.
Nobody cares.
No, 2 weeks ago it was my 100th show.
Is that when Jim Chaplin did?
Yeah. So it just, I don't have to talk about myself.
I didn't get to see that.
It was fine. No, it's
cool. You'll have to tell me how to watch these because I'm computer illiterate.
It's easy. I'll show you.
You go to YouTube, type in John Peckman's podcast, and it comes up. Right?
Yeah. And then you just subscribe.
I could do that.
And you just subscribe. This sounds like a commercial. Let me show you how to do it. And
Gee, Dad, how do you do this?
Yeah, we're actually all right. Well, let me ask you this. So, kind of wrap up type of questions. Although I want you to come back because I don't feel like we talked enough.
Oh no, we could go on for days probably.
Yeah. So this will be
known each other so long.
I'll be hitting you up. Yeah. Forever, ever since I was Jonathan, which nobody knows that.
My name is Jonathan. I'll never forget it, man. You looked up at me.
Sorry.
It's like, you little
total jerk.
Little boy.
Yeah. Desert Island album or a few. Give me 5 albums that you would listen to for the rest of your life only.
Queen 2.
Yep.
Queen 1.
Yeah, sure.
Sheer Heart Attack.
Wow. Okay.
I'm a humongous Queen fan.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I hate this. This might sound crazy. Bump Ahead, Mr. Big.
I don't know.
It's the album with Richie Kotzen on guitar.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know.
The songs are incredible. And of course, you got Billy Sheehan and Pat Torpey.
I don't know enough about them, but
Pat Torpey?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's a Sted Howland, Pat Torpey, Matt Starr circle I'll tell you about.
Right. I was going to say, Matt.
Because Matt took Stet's place in Run 21.
Right.
Stet took Pat's place when he left Penn to start Mr. Big.
And Matt took
Pat's place. So 35 years, it went full circle right there.
Wow. Crazy. So Queen, just Queen.
Oh, I'm a huge Queen fan.
Wow.
I've seen them 7 times.
Yeah.
Desert Island, another one, Axis Bold as Love.
Sure. Yep.
Because the songs and the lyrics are just...
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
They're magic.
Yeah.
There's a bunch. That's a really tough one,
I know.
There are 5 albums.
I don't know.
Help.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Help is one of my favorite records.
Yeah, I think I remember like when I started hanging around with you guys, with you and Howard, it was like a big deal. I was I was kind of like becoming the adult. And my parents were big Beatle fans, but my parents are funny. They always said the Beatles were never any good till they started doing drugs. My parents didn't.
They always did.
They didn't like their. I know. But they didn't like early Beatles, like anything pre-Revolver. We never had in the house.
Yeah, but they were smoking weed back.
I know.
Then, yeah.
And then when I met you guys, you liked earlier Beatles, and I was like, oh, okay, I can like this.
Help and Hard Day's Night are like masterpieces.
Great. Okay.
And I had the Beatles' second album. It's called.
Yeah.
I wore that out when I was a kid.
Cool.
Wore it out. Yeah. Roll Over Beethoven.
Yeah.
I just listen to Ringo on that record, man.
I can't.
Guy was on fire.
Yeah. No, I agree with all that. Yeah, I like Queen too.
Queen 2 that's my number 1.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's like you can hear everything. It's all there. Like Bohemian
amazing.
Rhapsody's already there.
Oh,
they just didn't put it together. Like all the tricks are there.
And that was the tour I saw when they opened for Mount Hoople.
Wow.
That was Queen 2.
That must have been
I got
crazy.
turned on to Queen by Chip Flynn. You must know Chip Flynn, guitar player. He's from Middletown. Phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
He was friends with Yes.
Okay.
He worked at Music World in the Meriden Square. Jim Zabora.
Oh.
Remember Jim Zabora, the writer?
I remember the name.
Great guy. He came back from England, and he'd seen Queen open for Yes. And he had the album. And I was at Music World. He goes, Skippy, you got to hear this band. And he put on Keep Yourself Alive. Yeah. And I almost fainted.
And you're like, this is it.
Who's this guitar player? And Freddie's voice just immediately.
And there's a drum solo on the first album 1, track 1 drum solo. I'm like,
thank you.
Cool. Yeah,
it's like Jimmy Page doing a solo in Heartbreaker.
Yeah.
The second song on the record, or whatever. Yeah, so that I became instantly madly in love with Queen.
Cool.
Yeah, and I have been ever since.
My dad used to love Queen. My dad would always tell me when I was a little kid, you should listen to Queen. They're good. Those guys are good. He said every song's a different style.
Right. They did a waltz.
Great.
The Millionaire's Waltz.
Great.
They did bebop. They did jazz. They did blues, Sleeping on the Sidewalk. They did the prog. They did metal. And
Yeah. They did disco when it was time to do that. They were like, they do rockabilly, anything.
Another One Bites the Dust was written by the bass player.
Yep.
You could tell.
Yep.
It's all bass.
I used to think, I remember, so I have a theory, although I might be wrong now that we find it, but it must be like Queen's got to be the band where no one says no. Where like they go, okay, listen, right in the middle of the song, everything's going to stop. And there's just going to be a bicycle bell, and then another one, and the other guys go, "Sure, let's do it." No one says no because they did so much cool stuff.
They were all so talented.
Right.
I mean, the drummer can sing as well as the singer, and write as good as the guitar player. And what's funny was Cryer, the band Cryer, 2 guitars, bass, and drums used to do Bicycle Race. And blow your mind. Those guys were incredible. Yeah. Jesse Johnson, he's happening now. He's on Metal Blade. I think Shrapnel Records, Mike Varney's label. He lives in Ohio, and he's got like 6 albums out.
Hey,
touring all over the place.
That's cool.
Great guy.
But yeah, Queen. Yeah, I was into Queen too.
Oh, big
time.
How
could you not?
Yeah, Queen 2 is definitely my favorite. My brother's favorite album too.
Ogre,
if you ask my brother.
Ogre Battle.
Oh,
no more metal than that. Yeah.
I actually was playing that. Brian May walked up and back of me at the NAMM show.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was shaking.
Oh God.
I was shaking like a leaf.
Of course.
He was the nicest human being I ever met.
I bet.
Just
I could imagine.
Nice guy.
That must have been heavy.
It was super heavy. Yeah, we was at the NAMM show with Harvey and Joe.
Far out.
And Joe always tells the story about the time he came around the corner, saw me and Eddie Van Halen having a cigarette. He never tell you that story?
No.
Joe almost fainted.
Wow.
Well, he was there. Jimmy Bell was a Kramer endorser.
Okay.
So Jimmy was there for Kramer, and I knew Jimmy well from the club scene.
Sure.
And everybody had left, and it was just me and Eddie.
Yeah.
And me and Eddie just sat down and had a cigarette.
Why not?
And Joe comes walking around the corner, and he's like,
"This is it.
You got to be kidding me."
Yeah.
And he tells everybody that story.
Yeah.
He just started laughing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I was lucky enough. I was young enough. Van Halen. I remember I bought the first album when it was the only one, and then 2 came out. Like I was there for every.
Van Halen 2 is another one of my top 10 albums.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love Van Halen. Desert Island Food. What could you eat every day?
Fried chicken.
Fried chicken. Don't eat it every day.
No, I know what's funny is I worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken when I was in high school, and I still love fried chicken.
Yeah.
They always said if you would have one last meal, it would be fried chicken.
Oh, cool. All right.
Good, real Southern pan fried chicken.
Yeah. You know what?
You notice I didn't even blink when I
know. Yeah. You're ready for that. One show. You might already answered this, but these are like questions in case we didn't. One show that you saw that you were like, "This is what I want to do." Must have been
Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush opening for Queen at the Palace Theater.
Wow. Yeah.
And I saw the Tubes.
Oh.
At the New Haven Agora for Completion Backwards Principle. And to this day, I have never seen a band that incredible in my life.
Wow.
Everybody asked me, was the best band you've ever seen live? Hands down, the Tubes.
Wow.
They had a different set backdrop for every song.
Cool.
When they did White Punks on Dope,
it's
about L.A.,
they
had an earthquake, and the crew was hanging from their legs from the light scaffolds.
That's so cool.
And Fee had the 6-foot platforms.
Yeah,
it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But musicians, I'm still blown away by that.
Yeah, Prairie Prince.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. He drew some fancy stuff on the dressing room walls. Let me tell you.
Oh boy,
he's a nut.
Is he? I don't know.
Great artist. He did a lot of the stuff for the Batman movies, costumes. And stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's a very talented artist.
That's cool.
You should. I won't even explain here what he drew on the wall, but it was.
Oh boy.
Perverted, hilarious.
Oh boy.
It involved Disney and Looney Tunes characters.
Perfect.
That's all I'll tell you.
Say no more.
And the Looney Tunes characters were winning.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, he's quite the guy.
That's great.
Quite the guy.
That's so.
Because we were there like a week after they were.
Yeah, right.
I'm going, Oh my God,
Hey, he was here.
This guy's nuts, man.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah, they were phenomenal.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I could picture that. You know what? I don't want to go.
I know we got to wrap it up.
Let's do it again. We got to do it again, and then just talk music.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get to the thing. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while too.
It's been quite a while. How's Paul?
Oh, fine.
She's great, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're lucky. You got one of the cute, cool ones. Oh, you're very lucky.
I am lucky, and also the house is in her name, so. I'm even lucky.
Until she kicks you out, you don't get nothing.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, you don't have to pay the property taxes.
Oh, God. All right. You know what? I'm going to press the button. I don't want to.
I know, me either.
This was a lot of fun.
I know. I knew it was going to be fun.
I'm glad you came because you were on the list from day one. I never know who knows about the show or how, so I don't push too hard. I just kind of let it happen, and then you emerge, and I'm like, I told Pat Russo, I was like, Skip, he's like, yes,
another guy I love.
Yeah, oh yeah,
just
yeah,
a great kid.
Yeah, I work for. I'm teaching for him too.
Oh yeah, down in the Wallingford store.
Yeah.
Right, I live right up the street.
Oh no shit.
I live on Lupine Street.
Oh cool.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. No, Pat's the best.
100 yards away.
Hey,
yeah.
I'm there on Wednesdays. Come tomorrow.
I met him when he was a dishwasher at Chuck's Steakhouse. I was playing. He came out to hear who was playing guitar out there. I've known him ever since then. He was 16.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Great player too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Always was.
Yeah. He's doing a lot for those kids.
I know. Him and his wife, they did the thing at Gaetano's with the girls all singing. They do that once a year. And
great.
I love it.
Yeah. It's all good.
Be good to kids, man. We got to be good to them so they don't grow up to be lunatics.
Yeah, no, I dig them. You know, I had a lot of, actually, you were one of them. You know, when I was young, I had a lot of adults that were cool with me. They didn't treat me, even though my name is Jonathan.
That's so I still love that.
Yeah. But, you know, so I try to be that guy to these kids, you know, just like a cool guy. Like, you can be cool. You don't have to be a stiff. You can be a cool guy.
Yeah, that was one of the best things I ever heard was at my son's wedding when we were in England last, when was it? It was October. And he's drunk as could be because he's having a blast. His hair is down to his butt. He's 5'10". He's got blonde hair now. He's great. Looks cool. But he looks over at his wife and he goes, "Told you I had one of the cool dads."
See what I'm saying?
I was like, oh my God, that made my life.
All right, you know
there.
what? Skip LeClair. Cool dad.
Cool dad.
Cool dad.
That's all. That's everything.
Yeah. My dad was cool too.
Your dad was totally cool.
Yeah. See, there you go. Cool dads. I'm not a dad, but I don't know.
You'd be a cool one if you were.
I would be. John Peckman Podcast, Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Come over the bridge, go 1 through satellites, look left, pull a U-turn, park in front of the thing. All right, I gotta go. We gotta go. All right, hey, that is all. Listen, Dave will tell you how to have your very own podcast here. Thanks a lot, kids. Drive safe. I said it before. I'm going to say it again. That is all. Skip LeClair was here.
Yes.
If you'd like to start your own podcast, give us a call at Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Our professionally designed podcast space is here for all your recording needs. Rent out our studio to do interviews with up to 4 people, to record audiobooks, social media content, and all other recorded material. Our rentals include a private studio along with our professional-grade podcasting equipment, and we can customize your output to whatever your needs are. We also have green screen capabilities, which will expand to video capability if you so wish. So check us out here at convalley.net/podcast.